Hey guys, CJ here. So today we're going to be doing a new episode for an entirely new series called A History of Comic Heroes. And to start the series off, I'm going to be talking about one of the most obscure DC heroes of all time, the Green Lantern. Hold on, I'll explain. You see, I'm not talking about Hal Jordan or John Stewart or even that new guy that the New 52's come up with. I'm talking about the first Green Lantern, Alan Scott, a character that's gone through so many changes since the New 52 that he's probably the most changed character out of the entire DC multiverse. So let's get into a little bit of history on this guy. Alan Scott first appeared in All American Comics issue 16 in July of 1940. Created by Bill Finger and Martin Nodell, Alan Scott became the first Green Lantern ever. In his run, there were a lot of fundamental differences. There was no Lantern Corps, no Guardians, and not even a planet Oa. Instead, the item that gives Alan Scott his power is a meteor called the Starheart. When the Starheart crashed in ancient China, it was prophesied to bring three things: death, life, and power. The first was death. After being carved into a lamp by a man named Chang, the men around Chang began to fear him and the lamp's mystical energy, and thus decided to kill Chang. The Starheart struck back by killing all the men who took Chang's life. Fast forward to 1940s America, and the lamp is given to an insane man who makes railroad lanterns, and decides to somehow turn this into a railroad lantern. Okay, sure, I'll play along. After this, the Starheart passes on its second gift, a new life, restoring the man's sanity. Fast forward a few moments later, and the lantern is now on board the same train as young engineer Alan Scott. The train Scott was traveling on crashed, and after hitting explosives which were tied to the tracks, the lantern instructed Alan to take a piece of it and carve it into a ring, and with that, the Green Lantern was born. Alan Scott also became one of the founding members of the JSA, or Justice Society of America, and is also most notably known as the White King for Checkmate. The first issue of JSA appeared in All-Star Comics issue 3. Two of Alan Scott's most notable villains is Vandal Savage and Solomon Grundy, who actually still play a pretty big role in the Green Lantern mythos today. Scott was even allowed to have kids and get married. His wife, Rose Canton, or by her villainous name, Rose and Thorn, was actually a blueprint that was used for the character Poison Ivy many years later. He also had two children, Jade and Obsidian. Jade actually went on to become a Green Lantern in the Earth 1 universe. Talk about weird. However, these good times were not to be had forever. After World War II, superhero comics started to decline and were blamed for children's miscreants. In 1949, Alan Scott's Green Lantern title was cancelled, and then his final appearance in All-Star Comics issue 57 in 1951 ended the Golden Age. Fast forward to 1956, and the superhero comics have boomed back, and in a big way. However, Alan Scott's title was never recovered. Instead, DC decided to go with a younger hero named Hal Jordan, a fighter pilot, which is probably the Green Lantern that all of you know. However, that's not to say Alan Scott was completely forgotten about. And comes Gardner Fox. Okay, how best to explain Gardner Fox? Gardner Fox made a lot of very big contributions to the comic book community, but I think his biggest contribution was The Flash of Two Worlds. This book explains that, well, all of the Golden Age heroes were real, and those stories did actually happen. They happened on an alternate Earth called Earth 2, explaining how Alan Scott and Hal Jordan were both able to hang out with Superman and Batman, whose, unlike most characters, books didn't go out of print, and which also allowed Alan Scott, Jay Garrick, and a lot of the classical Earth 2 Golden Age superheroes to continue to live on. Because of the fact that all the Earth 2 characters had shown up around World War II or before it, there are a lot of fundamental differences. Superman was going gray, Batman was retired and then dead, Dick Grayson was still Robin, which was really weird, Supergirl had become an ultra busty super feminist, and, well, yeah. Alan Scott would occasionally, along with many other Earth 2 characters, cross into the Earth 1 universe. He actually was such a big help that he became an honorary member of the Green Lantern Corps, and continued to have his own stories until Crisis on Infinite Earths happened. Okay, Crisis on Infinite Earths is a year-long miniseries that happened around 1985-86, which folded all the multiverse into one singular Earth with one singular continuity, and would eventually pop back in the 90s. And now on to the New 52. Okay, so here's where things get a little bit icky with this character. You see, now in the New 52, one of the biggest differences is that Alan Scott is now gay, and I'm not saying that I'm homophobic, or that if you dislike Earth 2, you're homophobic, or anything quite like that. And I know there's going to be the typical outcry of, well, why can't we just create new characters for underrepresented groups? And where it comes with race or gender, I can relate and understand, but sexuality is a bit different. You see, having your appearance change both physically and mentally in the eyes of your peers and co-workers is a whole part of the GLTBQ experience in modern society, and because of that I can't really fully support that this change shouldn't happen. With that being said, this is the new Alan Scott we have now, more of a hybrid between Bruce Wayne and Hal Jordan. And okay, yes, I'd be lying if I said that this didn't piss me off, but we also have to remember that this isn't just about us anymore, as much as we may want to disbelieve that. And yeah, so I guess this concludes my episode on Alan Scott. Overall, Earth 2 has the little bit reminders of the old adventure comics and is worth picking up. And I really hope that you guys do go and pick it up. Until next time, I'm CJ, and I'll catch you guys later.